Greetings. Good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon where I'm at. So I showed a video the other day of some basic flipper skill during gameplay. That's one of the questions I needed answered. Yes, it looks, feels, and sounds like a real pinball machine, at least the ones from Xtreme gaming cabinets. The feel with the solenoids, of course, but does it play like a real pinball machine? And I can say satisfactorily, yes, it does. All the same movements and skills you would need for a real pinball machine, you can do on a virtual pinball machine, at least from Xtreme gaming cabinets. So when I got my machine, it looks fantastic. There's one little detail that was missing. I didn't have a light up coin door, so that is a very easy fix. Cost me $10. So I bought an LED strip and just put it on the coin door mech inside. So what you'll need to do something like that, and you can do this with, I'll show you here in a second. First thing you need is an adapter. You may not need it if you're in Australia, but I needed a US to Australian adapter. Let me grab my light. And then there's the adapter that goes into the power strip. And then I needed a adapter for the USB light up LED strips. So what I did is went ahead and got the electrical adapter, $1 or $2, and then the power supply for the LED strip, and ran it behind the box, behind the solenoid on-off switches, behind the volume button. Ran it down underneath the door, and then I cut off 8 inches to a foot, and then ran it over the left side of the coin mech and the top using reinforced tape, and then along the top, and then again the top of the other coin door and on the side. And the other thing I added was decals. So now it looks, more like a real pinball machine. Is it necessary? It really is, because I had a friend that came over and played. I'll turn this off. And he stood at the machine, and I said, you gotta add coins. And he's like, okay, where's the coins? He couldn't feel it. Because I like to play with just the lights going on the machine, kind of in a darker room. And so he couldn't find them. So it's very functional. So now your guest can not only find the left coin button, but it really is aesthetically pleasing in that it looks finished. So the neat part of an LED strip is you can change the color. So I can go to orange. It's kind of nice. I suppose you could go to blue if you wanted, which looks a little, I don't like that color. I like the red. That looks good. And you can also do the traditional color and just have it kind of strobing. Or the one I like occasionally would be there we go, strobing LED. So let me turn on my other one of my other pinball machines. So if you get one of the newer doors, it'll look something like this on the inside, the light at the top. So you could still do an LED strip if you wanted it to change colors, and you could control it, with a remote. You just pull those out, and then again, just run it along the side like I did, and then the coin door can have multicolors. I don't know that that's necessary. That's just kind of a fun little thing. If yours didn't come with one, very easy fix. I'm put it on the traditional color. Have it kind of strobe a little bit there. Also, my machine came And you can change these too. Came with the flashing. It was a bit intense for me. So you can go to the gentle transition where it just kind of fades and strobes lightly. That's the one I like. Sometimes during gameplay, I'll go ahead and put it on just the orange, and then it lights up just the outside. Looks really neat. And it's the same for the under cab lights. So it came doing that, and again, it's nice to have the remote. It comes with the remote. I just went to this color scheme where it just is a light transition from one to the next. So that's just a very easy, basic mod that you can do for $10, $5 for the strip, a couple bucks for the US to Australian electrical adapter, and then the power supply, another couple bucks. So 10 bucks or less, you can have a light up coin door, and you can change it to whatever. This is just kind of the traditional look. And like I said, the decals, I got a template, and then I copied those myself, and then went ahead and put some laminate over them and adhesive on the back. I don't use super glue because if I ever need to change these out, I don't want to have to get a knife and scrape any of the actual coin door, ruin the coin door. So it's just a little adhesive, and they're totally functional, and they work great, look great. Another thing that you don't see, and this is something that was purposeful, I didn't want people to see it. You don't see that this is a 2-in-1. So I got other games going on. You don't see that it's a 2-in-1. And I like that. So it's just got flat black panel, and the controls are bat top joysticks, and those are flat paint. So when you're standing at this, you can't tell it's a 2-in-1. Some people want it to look like a 2-in-1, but I didn't. I thought it looked maybe a little silly having joysticks there, but it doesn't really cost any more. For a couple $100, when I get 17+ thousand games, why wouldn't I get it? So another thing to note is when you load a table, it's like turning on a pinball machine. So I'll go ahead and start this. And just like turning on a pinball machine, it takes a few seconds for the software to initialize. And then it's ready to go. So that's probably 8 seconds. So just like a real pinball machine, turn it on, gotta wait a second, and now it's on. So we turn on the Guardians of the Galaxy. So you gotta be patient. It's just like loading up, like I said, each table you load is like turning on a pinball machine. So hit on. And so if you started going, why can't I play? Why can't I play? It's not working. Yeah, seems kind of silly, but the table has to load completely. And the software has to initialize. So they've recreated, the effect of loading a table as well. So think of it as every time you change a table, it's like turning on a new pinball machine. This takes 20 seconds for this one to load. And this is the real Guardians of the Galaxy. I've done some mods to this. Get some characters, put Peter Quill in there. Put Gamora up on the ramp. Yondu in the back there. I got Drax the Destroyer there on the back lane, and then Nebula in the corner. And it came with Rocket, and of course the Groot head. And also you can get the ones that come with the arms across the table, but that really obstructed the view. Put in some, I got some mirror blades. I put in mirror blades and then a shaker motor. And I get why some people don't want a 2-in-1. They want the actual arcade experience. So you can get an arcade one-up, or you can actually find a Street Fighter machine. I went ahead and got an arcade one-up and modded this out. Dropped in a new panel with the LED lights, blue and red. And then I like having the plexi over this where it lights up, just like on the Indiana Jones Virtual Pinball. And then this had just a board. So I got a kit where you can have a nice thin screen print. It's a white background, plexi on the front, and then you run LED strips back and forth and then light that up. And that's it. Turn into a multicade. This has 5,180 games. Raspberry Pi sits up there. And then dropped in a J panel and put in stereo speakers. And then you have to put in an amp, treble and bass on that. And that way, this gives you the arcade experience. So I can see, again, why people wouldn't want a 2-in-1. My biggest deal was, heck, get me all the games for the price. But I really didn't want to see it. So they gave me exactly what I wanted. So you can't even tell it's a 2-in-1. That is, unless you want it to look like 2-in-1. And in that case, you can get buttons light up, and you can get colors to make your joystick stand out and whatnot. But it's really not anything more for the price. I think it's a few $100 more. So why wouldn't I want access to 17,000+ arcade games? And then I have Xbox controllers. So you got player 1, player 2, 1 and 2, and then Xbox controllers. People stand on the side and play on the back box. Plus there's arcade classics. Go to that screen real quick. At the end of the wheel here. And now you don't have to worry about hooking up Xbox controllers. You just start playing games. See if I can find Pac-Man. Whoop. Hit select. And then you have access to, from Arcade Classics, all the Arcade Classics. Hit the coin button and a credit, and that looks great. Here's my joystick here. Try to get away. So anyway, I think it's, like I said, a couple $100 more. And why wouldn't I want 17,000+ arcade games? You have to go into the hyperspin. The Arcade Classics has, well, how many do they have in there? Let's see on the wheel. 75 games. So that's, yeah, it's got all the basic games in there, favorites. But again, you know, this is called a 2-in-1 real quick. I thought of something else. It's actually a 3-in-1. They don't advertise it as a 3-in-1, but I got the VR set up. Got my own goggles, and then I got an SSD with all the Steam 3D tables. That really is a game changer to me. I love the VR. So I got arcade games with trackball. I can play up to 4 players with the arcade. And then I can go into the VR, hook this up to this separate SSD, solid state drive. And that's really a game changer. It looks so real. It's basically reskins the whole machine you're standing at into a 3D rendered table, and it is incredible. The only problem with VR that I come to realize is that I just can't have my guests, you know, unleash VR to your guests. You almost have to be like a carnival ride conductor if people have never been on VR, to walk them through the steps, how to hold the controls, do the menus and stuff. It's really kind of a pain in the neck for, guests. So that's really not going to work. Plus they can mess up your system. So VR is kind of something that I'm into, that I think is incredible. In fact, there's a few machines I'm not going to buy, real pinball machines, because they're so realistic in VR. And the neat thing is, when you buy your machine, the premium from Xtreme Gaming Cabinets, I got my own Oculus S Rift goggles. I think they were $400 US. They'll provide the drive for you for a couple $100. They don't really advertise it, but I'm telling you, the VR is incredible. You just can't share the experience with other people. Maybe I'll drop a video. I can't really do a review on VR, but I'll drop a good video of like Circus Voltaire, what VR looks like. If I hooked up a monitor, even showed you what I was doing on this monitor, it would be all shaky and everything, and you wouldn't get the right idea. So I'll get a recording of Circus Voltaire so you can see it. So it's really a 3-in-1. Pinball, arcades, VR.
Now shoot the left red.
Here's Menagerie Marvel. Very nice.
But mostly I just wanted to show you quickly how you can do a quick mod and make your coin door light up. So it's aesthetically pleasing and it's functional. And I just like modding things anyway. Oh, my Iron Man machine is a Vault 2020 and it didn't have an Iron Man in it. I thought it was so funny, so I went and got an Iron Man. And I don't use, again, super glue on anything, use hot glue gun. So it can come off and then it buffs out nicely. And I got the same Mark suit as the one on the back glass. And then War Machine. How can you have an Iron Man machine without an Iron Man character in your playfield? That's a really neat mech that goes up and down. So yeah, really neat mod. And now I'm in the mood for multicolor.